So nearby, Brad, Lucas, and Nisha in the background on her phone. What would be your dream car?
I was always a big fan of the Dodge Viper with the stripes.
Oh, yeah. Lucas?
Thinking maybe like the 89 Batmobile.
And then Nisha?
I'm going to be boring and say this like supercar, this McLaren that I saw last year. It's this bright orange McLaren supercar. It's gorgeous.
I'm going to be boring and name a supercar.
Yeah, but you're like, Batmobile, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, McLaren.
Yeah, mine would be an Audi R8. Because he just looks like a shoe from the future. It looks so comfortable.
The thing is, I want to know how hard it's going to be to like park the Batmobile in the middle of a city somewhere.
The thing is though, no one's going to nick it. Who's going to nick the Batmobile? In the world of hyper-expensive cars, one name and one name alone is synonymous with luxury. Rolls-Royce. With base models of newer cars costing almost $500,000 a piece, with an almost unlimited amount of customization available, with all of that customization being largely bespoke, there's virtually nothing you can't do to a Rolls-Royce provided you can flash the cash to make it happen. As an idea of just how bespoke a Rolls-Royce is, there is one guy who works for the company whose only job is painting a single line down the side of every single one. The first thing I need to address is that, that figure I quoted of about $500,000 for a base model for a Rolls-Royce? That's not accurate. In fact, we don't actually know how much a Rolls-Royce costs because Rolls-Royce, the company, does not tell you what a Rolls-Royce costs. Sticking to the old adage of, if you have to ask how much it costs, you probably can't afford it. So that's an estimate based on what people generally pay for a Rolls-Royce.
I fucking hate when companies do that. When there's like a website and they're listing a product but they don't put the price on, and you want to just buy I want to buy the thing, how much is it?
Well, the thing is that it makes sense. Like, if it's like, trying to buy like a TV or something, that's annoying. But when it's Rolls-Royce, their reasoning is quite reasonable, I guess, no, Rolls-Royce is the same, so we can't, quoting a figure for a base Rolls-Royce wouldn't matter because you can customize virtually every aspect of it, and all that customization costs money. And for anyone curious, there'll be a link below where you can go onto the Rolls-Royce website and create your own Rolls-Royce. And let us know on the official Fact Fiend Twitter account. Is it X account, I guess? So I've got to say X, I guess?
No, do not say
okay. No. And I want the folks at home right now, go on that website and create the most fuck ugly Rolls-Royce you can and send it to us on the official Fact Fiend Twitter account so we can have a laugh at it. Because that's the thing, I went on it and I just made everything can be customized. Like every little detail can be customized. I made this bright, it looked like something the Joker would drive. It's great.
How the fuck do you buy one? Surely, to know how much a default one costs, you just create a default one.
Well, Rolls-Royce themselves say if you want to know how much a Rolls-Royce costs, call them so they can walk you through the process. Because the process is entirely bespoke and is tailored to your exact specifications, wants and whims.
I know I might be in the minority here, but it's so pretentious. But
it's a Rolls-Royce.
But imagine if you tried to order a pizza and they were like, every pizza's different, it's all got different toppings.
Well, that's the thing.
You're not going to know the price of the pizza until you make the pizza.
That's the thing. It would be pretentious if not for the fact that statement is accurate when it comes to a Rolls-Royce. Everything on a Rolls-Royce is unique and tailored exactly to you. But for anyone curious of the kind of stuff you can do to a custom roller, you can do whatever you want and you can be as picky and pedantic as you like. You can be like one of those kids on Super Sweet 16 if you want.
You move for any reason, if you're dying of a bladder infection, frankly, I don't care.
And you can make it as garish or as obnoxious as possible because, hey, it's your Rolls-Royce and it's your money.
So aside from the logo on it, is there no way to identify what a Rolls-Royce is? If I saw one driving past on the street, could one drive past then another and they would look completely different and there's no way of knowing that they are Rolls-Royces?
The shell of the car would be the same. The shell, if it was a Phantom or something like that, that would be the same. The Spirit of Triumph, I think it's called, the thing on the front, would be the same, unless you wanted to customize that. Some people have. I think it was I think it was a basketballer who got one and it's him dunking a basketball. Instead of the thing on the front.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but when it gets robbed day one, what are you going to do about it?
Have you ever seen the security measure on Rolls-Royces?
Where they sink into the car?
Yeah, if you go and touch it, it sinks into the car, so you can't steal it.
But they had many a year where people just, day one, just get the wire cutters out on the front.
What sinks into the car?
The thing on the front of a Rolls-Royce, like I said, the Spirit of Triumph, the lady on the front where her tit's at?
Yeah.
That thing, if you go and grab at the hood ornament, it sinks into the car.
Oh, right, to stop you stealing the hood ornament. I thought you meant like to stop the car being stolen, like the steering wheel would sink into the car.
Well, you can do whatever you want to, and like personally, I'm just gonna say, I would want if I ever got a dream car, it'd either be that Audi R8 that I mentioned, or this car driven by the super hot Asian lady in the first Fast and Furious movie. That is my dream car. Like that, I'm so mad she's not in later Fast and Furious movie because one, she's super hot, and two, that car's super fucking rad.
Couldn't have a car that's not got a roof. Not in England.
Is that a Rolls Royce, or you just
No,
put that
that's
in
just
for fun?
I was just like putting in a picture of a really highly customizable car, like the ones from Fast and Furious movie.
I think your enthusiasm for how customizable these are has sort of messed with our heads a little bit. Because in my head, I'm like, could you turn it into a Mini Cooper?
No, but basically everything else can be changed. For example, the colour. How many colours do you think you can pick from with a Rolls Royce?
I'm going to say
Throw a number out of how many base colours you think there are available for a Rolls Royce.
I would say for cars and a high brand car, let's go with like maybe 20 odd.
Okay, Lucas.
I don't know, because now I want to say like the full RGB range because you've made it that ridiculous.
Look at how many. Like, no, I'm not talking about base colours.
Yeah,
How many base colours do you think they offer for a Rolls Royce?
100.
Nisha?
I'll go in between then, 50.
40,000. There are 40,000 base colours you can choose from if you want to have that's not the stock. However, you can make it any colour you want, and Rolls-Royce has a team of bespoke paint artists who will colour match your car to whatever you want.
So I can just give them a hex code of colour and
Yeah.
just be like, match that tone.
Green screen rolls.
Well, you could do well if you wanted to, yes. And like, there's an interview with someone who works as the paint department of Rolls-Royce. Like, we want to colour match someone's car to their dog. Like, they had a red setter, so what we did is we picked the different colour tones on the dog, and the car is the exact same colour as the dog.
That's a surefire way to lose your dog.
Yeah, he just disappears inside the car. But yeah, they said, and here's the thing though: once you've picked your custom colour, it gets named after you, and then it gets retired. So no one else can pick it. If someone else happens to see your Rolls-Royce, like, I really like that colour, they have to contact Rolls-Royce and ask permission, and they'll contact you, and they have to license it from you.
I'm presuming that means if you pick one of the non-base colours.
That one's fine, yeah. So the 40,000 base colours, like any other one of those you can pick. But if you want your own colour, which can be like any variation of those 40,000, or just inspired by something you own, like say a piece of clothing, a piece of jewellery, like an item you happen to like, or like the colour of the sky on that day, you let us know, you bring anything in, we'll colour match to it. We've got people on like our team whose only job is colour matching paint, and once it's done, that's your paint. It's named after you, no one else can use it unless they pay you. And that's just the paint. That's just the paint. I like how you're just quiet now, like, that is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, when you say a car with infinite possibilities of customization, just like the option to have 40,000 options on one thing makes that basically true.
Yeah, and keep in mind as well, you can also pick the colour of anything else on the car. And that can also be as many as 40,000 base colours or a customised colour to your choosing. That includes all the interior. Like, you can have two-tone car if you want. That can be the window tint. That can be the leather on your seats. That can be, the interior of your boots or the trunk for Americans.
So this is sounding to me like that amazing feature they had in The Sims 3, where you could individually colour anything in your house.
Basically, yeah. And that's what they'll do. That's why they say we'll walk you through the entire process. And if you want your steering wheel to be smaller, if you want the interior to look differently, and then keep in mind as well, I'm talking pimp my ride levels of customization. What bullshit do you want in there on top of that? People have put you're not getting like a swimming pool in there, but if you want like a TV, microwave, coffee machine. Yeah. One guy bought like a piece of artwork and they stitched the artwork into his roof. They did that. They've got water dispensers, and there's and keep in mind as well, they build everything into the car so you can hide shit inside the doors if you want like bulletproofing. If you happen to be a head of state or someone very important. They also soundproof the fuck out of Rolls Royces so well they have to remove some of the soundproofing because people kept crashing them because it was too quiet, and people thought it's too quiet, I don't know if I'm driving or not. And again, the picture I use for just how ridiculous you can make it is just the interior of Austin Powers' car. But the thing is, you could make it look like that. If you really wanted to have bright pink everything, they would do that and it would be okay.
You are representing the brand with the car. Surely there's a limit from them of you can't put a massive big booby anime girl on the side.
Well, no, because part of the brand is service, and if that's what you want, that's what you get. And that's the thing of like the brand is service above all, and that's why it's a completely bespoke service that is customized and tailored exactly to you. For example, something most Rolls Royces have now is in the stitching of the roof part inside, they have a constellation, which is all stitched by hand. And it's like a constellation of stars for lights, and you can customize that to whatever you want. And there's some person like they had it so the constellation of stars above where they were born on the day. And they got people to look up how they did that and put that in.
So that's scene in Moon Knight.
And just as an idea of how ridiculous this gets, let's talk about the coach line. So are you familiar with what the coach line is?
Nope.
So the coach line is a custom bit of thing they do on every Rolls Royce. And it is just, you see that, a line down the side of the Rolls Royce. And as you can see, there's a flourish there of a flower. That flourish can be anything you want. It could be your name. It could be a big titty anime girl. To my knowledge, I'm not sure if they wouldn't do that. But that is drawn by hand by one guy whose only job is drawing that line.
I have seen like a YouTube short or a TikTok of somebody doing something similar, and it is so satisfying to watch.
He does it, one guy, he's the only person who's allowed to touch that. And he has a special brush made from squirrel hair that costs like 15 grand. And do you know how
Squirrel.
Apparently squirrel hair is the best hair for it. And he's got this one brush and no one's allowed to touch that brush. And if he makes one mistake, they have to throw it all out and start again. They have to completely sandblast the car and start the paint job again. So he can't make one mistake. The same is true of all the other bespoke stuff. They make one mistake, they throw it all out.
That would be such a bad job to have.
Well, that's why all the people who do it are the top of their field.
That's way too much pressure.
It is, and that's why they've got one guy who's allowed to do it. Do you want to guess what he did before he started painting lines on Rolls Royces?
Tattooing.
Similar.
I was going to think like
Banksy.
completely opposite career.
I was trying to think of something where your hands would shake.
Oh, could be a surgeon. Surgeon?
He wasn't certain. No, he used to paint the signs for pubs.
Oh.
Joe pub signs, he was that guy. And what makes it really funny is everyone in Rolls Royce is really posh. But then they get to this guy and it's like, alright, who's to paint pubs? And he's so fucking broad, but he's the only person in Rolls Royce who's allowed to do it. And they say like no one else but him is allowed to do this. And he's on call 24 hours a day. Would you like to hazard a guess at why he's on call 24 hours a day?
I can't think of in case somebody needs one done.
Yeah, it's because the coach line, while it's a signature of the brand, you don't have to have one. But Rolls-Royce say if you ever want one putting on, we'll do it. And Rolls-Royce has a policy of all things are done in-house. They do not maintain Rolls-Royce garages. Once it rolls out of the manufacturing plant, it never comes back. Any issues, guaranteed for life. If it's got a mechanical issue, they'll fly a mechanic out anywhere in the world and fix it. Likewise, this guy is on call 24 hours a day. In case someone somewhere decides they want a coach line, they'll fly him and all his equipment out first class to get it done.
Why is it called a coach line?
It's a car, isn't it? Coach line. It's from like carriages and stuff. And yeah, that's just his only job. And my favourite bit is how he got the job is when he went in for the interview and they asked him, could you draw like an 18-foot long, perfectly straight line, freehand on a £1 million car? And he just looked and went, I could do anything. And he got hired. And that's how he got the job. And you know what? Yeah, all that sounds ridiculous. And so you think, yeah, if I spent the equivalent of like a 5-bedroom house on a car, I'd want this level of care put into it too.
You say that this level of care is it was a random guy who used to paint pub signs like, yeah, I'll draw a straight line, it's fine.
But that's the thing, would you do it? Could you draw a perfectly straight line freehand?
Depends on what you pay for.
Well, that's the thing.
The more money involved, the straighter that line gets.
Keep in mind as well, if he ever fucks it up, like what, hundreds of hours of work gets undone, and have to sandblast the car back to start.
He's definitely sneezed at some point on the job.
Apparently he's never fucked it up. And it's all done freehand without any mechanical thing, just one brush.
Or alive, they've just like killed the owner, buried the evidence.
Just one car, but yeah, isn't that interesting? So nearby, Brad, Nisha and Lucas, we've been talking like, cars and like, just stuff that's bespoke. So in that vein, is there like any luxury item that you would quite like to own? Because I know a lot of luxury items, people always say like, it's not worth the money you're paying for it. Whereas I think Rolls-Royce kind of is, because like that level of care going into it, like it should be worth that amount of money, because like everything requires like masters of their like respective field, like working in tandem and like flawless harmony. Of course, it costs like, when you see some stuff that costs a lot of money, it's like, is it really worth it? Like like designer bags and stuff. Is a designer bag that's made in a warehouse somewhere really worth like $2,000? And then you'll see stuff like what stuff that's handmade would be. So in that vein, like anything like luxury that you really like want.
Well, I I always like minerals and things that are rare. And there was this ring I saw like a decade ago.
Is it one like the dinosaur?
Yeah, so it was a 3-band ring. It had like titanium something in the middle. One band was a fossil and one band was a meteorite. And it I think it was at 620 quid. And I wish I just bought it at the time because like just something like that. Just wearing that on your finger just feels impressive.
Yeah.
Like it really annoys me when people buy something expensive and the only reason it's expensive is because of the brand.
Yes.
Which is why obviously the Rolls-Royce concept sort of irritated me at the start.
But then it's like, Rolls-Royce are aware, and that's why they put so much effort. Everything is bespoke, and every step of the way, it's like completely to the customer's whim. It's like it's service from start to finish.
But the idea of like a dinosaur fossil or a meteorite, like as long as those things are like they're verified by the company, because you can have like T-Rex bone on your finger. And you can have like a rock from space. I know we're all rocks from space, really, but you could have a rock that came from space after, like recently.
Yes. How about yourself, Lucas? Like any luxury item or brand that you'd really, really want if money was no object? I mean, if you want to help us achieve these goals, you can subscribe to our Patreon.
Buy me my ring.
Buy Brad some jewellery. Tell him he looks pretty.
I was trying to overthink in my head, and there's like obviously a few things, but generally I live like quite frugally, and my idea of luxury is like. It's like that clip where Danny Poody's like, I'm in DuckTales, I like a nice coffee.
Yeah. That's a great one. That if you ever splurge or anything, it's like, I'm in DuckTales.
Socks are not a luxury.
All right, give me a luxury. What luxury should I have?
Private plane.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
But what you mentioned jewelry, one thing that came back into my head is the like Sonic, I think it was like the 25th anniversary necklaces where they were like diamond encrusted Shadow the Hedgehog. And just like, I would want that.
Just like it's the most garish, fuck ugly thing imaginable.
Awfully bad looking, but like just Shadow the Hedgehog, like giant hanging around my neck, just covered in diamonds. Yeah.
It's the most ostentatious shit imaginable. How about yourself, Nisha?
I mean, I'm not much different with the jewelry theme because I like wearing jewelry. I don't have many rings. Speaking of rings, I do have rings, but they're cheap ones, so they leave obviously green stains when you wash your hands. But I'm too scared to splash out on any expensive stuff because I'm terrible for losing jewelry. Like I lose my earrings all the time, my rings, necklaces break all the time. I'm terrible for it, so I wouldn't dare spend any money more than like a tenner or 20 quid.
Well, imagine though money was no object. Go on, what did you get? Was it like really nice ring, you think?
Yeah, some sort of like proper like diamond or something, or like something purple because I like purple.
Like amethyst or something, or whatever.
I think it is amethyst.
More precious gem than that.
Yeah, or something blue. Like you can see me, I wear a lot of like blues and purples.
Opal or sapphire or something.
Like I wear a lot of these elastic bracelets because they cost like £4.
Yes,
so it's a safe option. But yeah, anything that's like purple or like a nice diamond ring. But yeah, if money was no option and I didn't lose things, that would be great.
What about yourself?
I would want to get a bespoke suit. Because I was talking to Lucas about this earlier. I went to try and buy a pair of jeans earlier and was so pissed off that every clothes manufacturer thinks all men's legs are the same length. Like, I'm 6'3". 32 like leg does not fit me. It always leaves that awkward gap at the bottom where people think my cat's died. It's like I'm at half mast, like, wading across a river or something. It's like, I just want an outfit that's tailor-made for my body type. I just want like perfectly bespoke, like a wool suit, and then I can wear it every single day.
Not the Barney Stinson diamond suit.
No, I wouldn't go like that, but I wouldn't go that far, but I just want like, have you ever tried like a wool blazer on?
I know that like wool clothing is the thing. I'm just imagining Karl in a sheep suit.
No, it's not like
I know it's not.
Like maraschino wool or something, which I've tried, or like
a wooden sheep's clothing.
I've tried that before. Like I was in like I think it was in like Neiman Marcus once when I was in America. So, and I tried on a coat. Well, this is a pretty nice coat. And I looked at $10,000.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, it's comfy.
I wouldn't trying it on's bad enough.
It's not that comfy, but I remember like thinking like, I've tried on like once like a maraschino wool sweater just to see. And I put it on and went, I'd live in this. This is it.
It wasn't the last live event we had, it was the one before, so the start of 2022. I thought, I'll go shopping, get like a nice outfit.
Yeah.
Went into All Saints, not realising how expensive it was.
Which is like a really expensive shop in the UK.
Saw the perfect dress, I was like, this is gorgeous. £500. I was like, I can't justify buying
That's
that.
what that leather jacket I always wear. That's the one that I got from All Saints because I had we got a Fact Fiend bonus that year. We did quite well. But you know what? Fuck it. I want a coat. It's gonna last me the rest of my goddamn life.
Yeah, we got the bonus, but I still didn't get that dress. I'm like, nope, I can't justify it.
I don't know if any of you would agree, but one thing that I've always liked the idea of buying is sort of the one-of-a-kind expensive things like memorabilia.
Yeah.
Or even in Magic the Gathering, there's a card called the Black Lotus. I think it's Black Lotus.
Yeah, it's not really expensive. It's like 10 grand in it.
Yeah, because it was a card that was very early print and it's really broken. So would you be interested in buying one-of-a-kind memorabilia, Indiana Jones's hat?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love all stuff like that. It's just that I can't. What I'm always gutted about. Remember we went to LA that time and they had it was that Rockstar event.
Yeah.
And they had that Grateful Dead denim jacket for $400.
Oh.
And it was a bright pink denim jacket, dyed rainbow, signed by the Grateful Dead. And I was like, it's $400 bidding, and it's all for charity. And I was like, I wish I'd done it. I wish I'd done it because it looks so fucking sick.
It reminds me of I think it was last summer. I went to Matlock, which is a place known for a lot of bikers go to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of leather jackets. There was such a gorgeous red leather jacket for £180, and I was just like, I can't do it. I want it so much, but I just can't spend that much money.
Imagine how warm you would be inside the cow. Inside the red cow.
So good. They just look so badass with black ripped skinny jeans and Doc Martens. I'm like, oh,
It's just like when I saw that Capcom had Dante's jacket on sale, and I was like, I'm so tempted.
Or Leon's jacket.
£500, the Leon jacket.
Leon's jacket, or Nero's jacket.
I think I've got Dean Winchester's jacket from Supernatural saved on my Amazon list. Looks good.
That's the one as well. The other thing I'd probably do as well is get some custom artwork. I would love if I ever managed to get my own place, I would love to have a mural painted on my wall by an artist or something.
It would be a picture of you, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Do you have you ever seen White Chicks?
yeah.
And they have Terry Crews with the basketball. I'd have that of me. Just you know what? Why the fuck not? It's my house. I do what I want.
Well, speaking of celebrities, would you class to photo ops as a luxury item? Because I just buy loads of photo ops with all celebrities of I've met this person.
Yeah. That's the thing, going to cons and trips and stuff, that is a luxury that a lot of people can't afford.
Because I've just mentioned I'm going to see Jensen Ackles in October. I booked a photo op and I'm finally going to meet him.
Winchester, is that the right one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
How dare you even question it?
I don't know which one's which. They're both Winchesters, right?
Well, yes. Cheers, everybody. See you all next time.